Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Too Good to Be True podcast. I am your host, Pascal Mayala. Today is normally I don't do it on Tuesday, but this is gonna be a little bit different. This one we'll call ourselves the bonus real talk, the real talk of my podcast. So, if you don't know what it is, so the real talk is when we will talk about a lot of things what's going on, and we're having a real conversation for this one. But this one is going to be a bonus real talk playoff edition. So we're going to talk about the recap of game one between the Knicks and the Pacers, and game two between the Nuggets and the Wolf. So let's start with the Nuggets and the Wolf because this is interesting. Before I talk about it, if you love this podcast, you can listen to the podcast at any platform from Apple Podcast, Spotify, Amazon Music, everywhere in your podcast. If you don't have time to listen in on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and Amazon Music, you can also listen to YouTube while we released on YouTube. You can like, subscribe, comment, and notify. So listen to this podcast everywhere around the world, or you can listen on YouTube. Now let's get to the Timberwolves and Nuggets. So the Wolves are up 2-0. They won 106-80. They completely embarrassed the Wolves. I mean, if I look at the stats right now, let's look at the box score right now before I will leave Jokic to comment. Without Rudy Gobert for a personal reason, Anthony Edwards and Carl Anthony Towns, both have 27 points. Mike Conley only got 4 points. Naz Reid stepped up, 14 points from the bench, 6th man of the year. Compared to the Nuggets, Jokic got 60 points, 16 rebounds, 8 assists. Very rare that he doesn't have to do triple doubles. That was odd. Aaron Gordon, 20 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. Jamal Murray, another disappointment. Even though in game one he had 17 points in the second half, but this one he got 8 points, which is very bad for Jamal Murray. And don't forget that he's injured. He was injured, so I give him a pass. So Justin Holiday, he stepped out. He got 13 points, but the rest of the bench did not contribute. Even Michael Porter Jr. with 9 points, he did not contribute that well. So this game is an embarrassment. I want to listen. I want you guys to hear what Jokic got to say about the game. It will take a little bit of time. Sorry, I have a little bit of technical problem, but I'm not live on YouTube. But listen.
How do you get those emotions back and the frustration back in check? I mean, it just seemed like Jamal was in control of his emotions and stuff like that. How do you get that back in check?
I mean, you need to ask him that. I didn't lose it. I think I didn't lose my emotions, whatever. So I think that's answer for him.
So you listen to what he said about the emotion. I mean, they need to figure it out because Jokic cannot do this alone. And the problem is with the Nuggets that it only rely on Jokic and Murray. And to me, it's really unacceptable for this team to play like that. So, to me, they need to figure out in Game 3 against the Wolves in Minnesota, because if they don't, I'm sorry, this series might be over. I'm telling you right now, if you could not figure it out, this series might be over. So, I gotta say this. The Nuggets need to figure it out a way. Now, moving up to next game, the Knicks versus the Pacers, which that was the match I was really very focused on. The Knicks won 121 to 117. A pretty close game, a pretty much fun game. I expected that it will be like a defensive juggernaut against the most offensive team on the Pacers, but they got me. And I'm gonna admit that I was totally right because that game was very excellent. That game is so excellent. I could not think about another way to describe this game. And the crowd was so amazing. There was a lot of celebrity, 50, Fat Joe, Spike Lee like usual, Stephon Marbury, they were all there. Now, there was there was something that happened during in the fourth quarter. What happened in the fourth quarter during the second of the game? I believe it was 50. If I'm not mistaken, it was a 52 second in the game. Second on the game, and one of those players tried to intercept, and the ref thought it was a kickball. Although it wasn't a kickball, he tried to steal it. The ref blew the game. The Pacers wanted to challenge it, and they couldn't. So that's my issue with the referee. But before that, I'm talking about the box score. Let's listen what Charles Barkley got to say about the referee, and I'll give you my opinion. So listen to this.
With the ball, and then the biggest player of the game.
I don't want to start my
They
game.
take care of the ball, man. They had too many turnovers down the stretch. Halliburton's got to be more careful with the ball. He had like 2 bad turnovers, and then obviously the foul on Miles. But if they take care of the ball, man, they're right there. You got a tie game. You got the lead. You're down 1 with the ball, and then the biggest player of the game, when they fouled my man before the ball came into bounds. Because even if Brother had made the 2 threes, the 2 free throws, they still would have had a chance. But once they gave him the free throw,
No, I want to move faster.
that made it a 4-point. I think in that situation where he challenged, and
Sorry.
that made it a 4-point game. I want to talk about this hockey thing. So in hockey, if you use a challenge and you lose, it's a penalty. I think in that situation where he touched the ball with his hand, I think you should if they take your time out or you run out of challenges, I don't think that's fair. They got to talk about that this summer. I don't want to hear
for some reason it is a non-reviewable call.
It was a huge play.
I know it was.
So what's more viewable? That's what I hate about the whole system.
That's why I'm thinking that too. Like here go the doofuses again.
In
the last minute or so, I mean, if a game is on the line, it's going to hang in the balance. I'm with you. I mean, you hate to see something like this happen, and then they say, well, it's not reviewable, but they admit it. Yeah. The three things that teams can challenge are fouls, goaltends, and out of bounds.
A kickball violation is not reviewable. Yeah, but that was a really huge play in the game.
Certainly was, because you got under a minute, you got
a
115 game, and that Pacer should have the basketball.
You know what's funny about it? If you actually looked at this play, they might have had a layup going the other way. So I think they should put a rule in, like they do in hockey. If you challenge a call and lose, you get a technical foul call against you. That's just my personal opinion. Whoa, that's a little. What do you mean?
So you heard what Charles Barkley got to say. And you know what? I totally agree. Because like I said, what Charles Barkley got to say when he said that they need to review of the NBA challenge. They need to review it if the team are right. They can keep their timeout. They can keep their challenge. But if, and I said if they don't succeed, they should call it a technical foul. And I think that's a fantastic idea. It's a fantastic idea. So I don't have an issue with Charles Barkley got to say. I think he's right. Because one thing I do not like, especially in the playoff, when a team challenge something and that team try to review and the referee try to review it, sometimes most of those action on the court or play on the court is not reviewable. So to me, they need to change some rules about it. And I think after the NBA Finals, they need to have a meeting. Adam Silver needed a meeting. I think the whole league needs to have a meeting to talk about it and how can we do something when they review a play on the court. So that's all I gotta say about that. So next game. You know what? Before I just want to add something on the Nuggets and the Wolf playoff series. I just want to say this for the people on the Nuggets. I'll talk about the Nuggets. I mean, when I watched Game 1, I mean, there was a moment on the press conference that Jokic said that when he said that how about the defensive scheme, he said that I wish there were multiple Jokic on the court, and you know what? He's absolutely right, because the way Timberwolves are playing, their defense are legit. They need to figure out on game 3 against the Wolves, because if they don't win the game, you probably couldn't see a legitimate sweep. And I said this on my prediction. I got the Wolf in game 7. And I said if somebody get injured in the Timberwolves, I think the Nuggets had a shot. But the way they're playing right now, it's going to be a sweep. So the next game is the Cavs versus the Celtics and the Mavs versus OKC. So let's start with the Cavs versus the Celtics. So both teams are playing tonight on Tuesday night. So you got Donovan Mitchell, scoring leader, 28 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. Jason Tatum, 21 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists. So what do I expect? I do expect that Boston play very well without Kristaps Porzingis, and that they will adjust. Same thing for the Cavs, but the Cavs team will have an issue with their bench, not because of Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell does his stuff, but Darius Garland is inconsistent. I know General Allen, he got a rib injury. Evan Mobley is also inconsistent. He needs to step up. Both of them, Darius and Evan Mobley, they have to step up. And the bench also had to step up too. So, to me, it will come in one hand with those two guys, with those teams. Sorry. And now for the Mav and the OKC. What do I expect? A young team of the OKC versus a little bit experienced on the Mav. So I know Luka will do his thing, Kyrie will do his thing. The rest of the team need to be consistent too. OKC team already been consistent, so it doesn't bother me. So I got nothing to say, even though that they have to just adjust. So I know, because I say that because they swept the Pelicans. The true test of the OKC is the Mavericks. So this is what I got to say about that. Who do I think who's going to win on game 1 between both Cavs and Celtics and Mav and OKC? I got Celtics winning game 1, and I'm probably going to get Dallas because of experience for game 1. So this is what I got to say about that. So thank you very much for listening to this bonus Real Talk playoff edition, and I'll see you next time.